Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now in today's video it's going to be a compilation of clips that I've taken in multiplayer over the past couple of days, pretty much just taking a break from the whitetail grind, which if you have been watching the channel you'll know that I did actually manage to get a great one, and I am sort of kind of starting a part 2 to that grind and just seeing if I can get an albino, decent sized albino buck for the lodge, a decent sized piebald buck for the lodge, and just see what else kind of comes out of the grind, because I had a load of need zones set up anyway, so I thought why not continue and just see where that goes. But because I finally got the great one, I decided that I'd actually take a break from whitetail and go into multiplayer and look for some other things that I really wanted for the lodge. Now, I joined this Medved Tiger server and it was nearly brown bear and musk deer drink time, so I headed up to the ice and started running along looking for musk deer that were drinking. Now, this one actually warning calls, and when I looked over to see where he was, I saw him flee, and I was so sure that I spotted a flash of white. And I did. And this is something I have wanted for so long. I never got one on Xbox in all the time I played on there, and all the time I've spent on Medved either on my own map or going on multiplayers, I have never managed to get a rare musk deer. So when I actually saw this guy and I saw what he was, I couldn't believe it. And I was still kind of at this point thinking maybe it was just the light, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not piebald, which is what at this point I was pretty convinced it was, but I've done it so many times with musk deer at night where I think maybe they're melanistic or maybe they're albino because something has, the light has caught them in such a way, or they've ran past a bush and the snow has gotten in the way, and just all those kind of things. And I've always really wanted to find a musk deer rare, and actually finding this guy was just such a highlight. I was so thrilled to actually see this guy, and to get him at night was extra cool because it just kind of added to the atmosphere, and the way that he came in so close and allowed me to get a shot in the end, it was just perfect. But while I was waiting for him, I decided to crawl over to this disturbed veg and pick it up, and it did say piebald, and I was so thrilled. I know you can look on the map and see their fur coat colour or variant via the map at the minute, because if you look on the right hand side you'll see with the track information it will also tell you what colour / what coat kind the animal is, and basically that's like having disturbed veg without having to have disturbed veg, but because there was some there I wanted to kind of crawl over to it and see. But as you can see, he is very definitely piebald, and oh my god, he's just so gorgeous. I'm so thrilled to have one of these. The musk deer and the roe deer have two of the prettiest piebalds in the game, in my opinion, alongside the reindeer and caribou, and I've had all of the other piebalds that I really like, except musk deer. So getting this little guy, I was so thrilled. He's just so gorgeous, and I wanted to make sure I got a really nice screenshot of him so that I could put him in the thumbnail, but he's just really beautiful. And yeah, the rock made a really nice background for the harvest screen, nice and dark, so you can see the beautiful piebald pattern on that buck. And for it to be a buck as well, I was just ecstatic. Going through multiplayers, I managed to find this really low-level Silver Ridge Peak server, and it was towards the end of pronghorn drink time, and I spotted this group that were heading away from this lake, and I noticed amongst them that there was a really big level 4, with a really solid 92 to 107 score estimate. Now, pronghorn are one of the animals that can rarely make diamond at level 4, so I really wanted to try and get a shot at this guy and see if I could actually get a diamond out of him, or at least a big gold, because with that estimate he was definitely really solid, and it also to me looked like, even from a distance, that he had a horn style that I have seen level 4 pronghorn make diamond with. So I fired the 22 over there just to get them to go alert, because I wanted to stop them from running away and going to a different zone and heading away to somewhere where I wouldn't be able to so easily see them. That worked really well, and actually worked pretty much perfectly in my favour, because it managed to get them to stop as they were going up this hill, or at least get the two bigger ones to stop, the two max weight estimate ones, including the buck that I really wanted to shoot. Now, I was pretty confident that he was going to make diamond at this point because those horns were definitely the horns I'd seen on some level 4 diamonds, and he had, like I said, such a solid estimate, and I really wanted to try and get a decent shot on him, but I also didn't want to try and, wait too long because they were clearly wanting to move off. They weren't interested in hanging around this zone anymore for drinking, so I wanted to quite quickly get a shot before they disappeared off somewhere, and the chance of losing tracks and all the kinds of things that can happen in multiplayer with other people and all those kinds of things. So I decided that as soon as I got at least a decent shot, I would take him and see if I could actually down him and get whatever I could out of him. Now, he is such a really nice pronghorn, I think. I think those horns look really, really solid. And he just, for a level 4, that's a pretty big level 4. And as soon as he gave me that shot that I was confident with the M1, I dropped him straight in his tracks. And that ended up being that. And I was really lucky that I actually spotted them before they'd left that zone. Because if I hadn't spotted them, then they would have been up into these trees and I probably wouldn't have ever seen them. Because I think the host, if I remember correctly, was sort of near-ish and kind of out more in the plains area. And if they'd gone out that way, then I would never have seen them. So I was really, really fortunate to actually catch them there. And he did actually make diamond a 99.20 diamond. And as I said, these horns are horns that I have seen make diamond before, so it wasn't too much of a surprise. And it was just nice to get a level 4 diamond pronghorn. I don't think I've ever had a level 4 diamond pronghorn. I've had a couple of level 5s, but never actually seen a level 4 that would actually make it. So that was a really, really nice surprise. Now, the next animal that I spotted was on a Te Awawara server, and it was at a lake that had a lot of humming pressure around it, but none actually at the lake. So I decided that I'd come over here and have a quick scan around and see if there was anything decent, and then I'd probably move on, seeing as the map seemed to have been quite hunted. However, one of the first things that I ended up spotting at this lake was this very large looking level 5 goat. Now, level 5 goats love to troll. They are so often they are trolls, but this guy had quite a solid estimate going up to 225, so I was kind of sure that he would make it, especially with those horns. I was pretty sure that I already had that exact horn style on another feral goat in my lodge, but like I said, it's never a guarantee with these guys. They troll so often. More often than not, these level 5s are trolls. So it's always interesting to get them down and actually see if they're going to make it, because you never really know with that, especially with that lower estimate, because if they're, bottom end of their estimate, they're not going to make it for quite often. So I always enjoy taking these guys out because it's more like there's a lot of animals that if you see it and it's a max level, you know it's going to be a diamond, but with these guys it's so hard to tell. So I always enjoy taking these guys down, and it was nice to get another sort of blonde fur type one. I have some of the darker ones, the dark brown and the brown, and yeah, just actually the whites and the blondes I didn't have so much of, so this was a nice animal to get down for the lodge. So, as you can see, he did make diamond, and he was that blonde fur type. And he actually made diamond by a good bit, being a 215.80 when 208.70 is actually diamond score. So he was actually quite a big one. And again, an animal that I was really pleased to have for the lodge. I really enjoy these feral goats. I really love these big horns, and if anything, I'll put quite a few on the plaques in my lodge and then maybe replace a few later on. But for now, I'm always happy to have more impressive looking feral goats for the lodge. I mean, I think they did such a fantastic job with the models for these guys as well. I think it's really awesome. Now, moving on to Yukon Valley multiplayers, I spotted something that I haven't seen in a little while, which is actually a piebald caribou. Now, when Yukon Valley released, rare caribou were extremely common. They were everywhere. Piebalds, leucistics, albinos, they were everywhere. And then I've just gone for several months recently and just not seen a rare caribou, and I didn't actually have any rare caribou on PC. So actually seeing one was something that it's something I wanted for the lodge. So I was really excited when I saw that white. But because there was bears here, I was kind of wondering if it was an albino bear to start off with. But I was pretty happy with a piebald caribou, if I'm honest. Like I said earlier in the video, these are one of the animals I think have one of the prettiest piebald variations. They really are like very piebald, and I like that in an animal where it's a real mixture of the common and just that bright white fur. And I just think they're gorgeous looking. I really do like the caribou. And he was a max weight estimate level 3, so I knew that he'd probably be a silver. I didn't think he was going to make gold at all with those antlers. They did not look anywhere near big enough, which was a shame, but I'm always happy to take a rare down no matter what. So he went down really quickly there, again with the M1. I love this gun so much. I've used it the whole time I've been grinding whitetail for the Great One, and I just love it. I switched over to the 303 for a long time. I still love the 303, but I went over to the M1 for the quick follow-up shots for the grinding of the whitetail, and I don't regret it at all. I just love this gun. It has so much power. It's fantastic. But yeah, just look at that piebald. I think it is absolutely beautiful. I really do like these guys. And this is always the way it seems to go in Call of the Wild. After going so long without seeing a rare caribou, in the same server I come across another piebald. Again, quite a small max weight estimate one, although this one was a level 4. But again, he didn't look like he had big enough antlers at all to be anywhere near gold. So I just dropped him very quickly with the M1, and again, he went down really quickly. But it's so odd. Like, this always seems to happen in Call of the Wild. If you are looking for something, you won't see one for the longest time, and then you'll see 2 or 3 within a very short space of time. Like, that's happened so often for me, it's really quite funny, and I just thought that looked really cool with the sun there, like, coming up through his antlers. So I took a nice screenshot of him for that. But again, I just love how these guys look. I really think they did a fantastic job with these piebalds. There's some piebalds in the game I'm not so keen on, but this is one that I really do love. I think they are just absolutely beautiful. And I wish there was a caribou multi-mount, the same as there is for the reindeer, with the I think it's the sleigh sold separately multi-mount. I think if we had that for caribou, that would be pretty awesome too. And then moving on to a Virahonga multiplayer that was again a very low level, I spotted something else I haven't seen in a very long time, which is a level 5 Kudu. I have seen so many max weight estimate level 4 Kudu recently, but no level 5s. And when I saw this guy, I was so happy to actually see that it was a 5. And those horns just looked so massive. I was so confident that he was going to make diamond, because I know these guys can troll, but I was fairly sure that those horns I've had before on diamonds, and so I really wanted to make a good shot. So you can see me being a bit more cautious with this and a bit slower, because I didn't want to mess him up. The last thing I wanted to do is have, something I haven't seen in a while and then mess it up. I do love how these lesser Kudu diamonds look. Those big horns just look awesome. And as I just said, yes, he did make diamond, and I just love how these guys look. I hope in the future we get to see greater Kudu in the game, because I'd love to see these guys but bigger, because that's basically what greater Kudu are. And yeah, just one I'm really happy to have for the lodge. And then again on another low level server, but this time for Parque Fernando, I spotted again something I haven't seen in a long time, which is a legendary water buffalo. Now, these are ones that can again make diamond at not max level. You can get diamond mythical water buffalo, but I've not seen a legendary in so long. So when I spotted this guy and it actually came up saying legendary, I was so thrilled because the mythicals are pretty huge. If that, you can pretty much take that from the fact that they can make diamond. So you can spot them quite often thinking, oh, that's surely going to be a mythical or a legendary rather, and then they are just a mythical. So spotting this guy, seeing the legendary pop up there in all bold, I was so excited to take him down. But I have been having some odd issues recently with the 300, and I don't really know why. I've been getting like no penetration sometimes, and just a couple of other like weird hit registration things, especially with Cape Buffalo. It's been a bit odd. I took a couple of shots at one, it was actually a troll legendary at 150 meters, and the bullet didn't penetrate more than about a centimeter in. It would literally just got flesh, which I've never had from the 300 before with Buffalo. It always reaches the lung, so I don't know why it started doing that now, especially at that 150-meter range. So I let this guy come really, really close just to make sure that hopefully it would penetrate even, just far enough to get a single lung, because that's all you need now that quick kill isn't a thing, and that's one of the best things, having quick kill removed, because you can just get a single lung and that is all you need. And he went down pretty quickly anyway, so that was really kind of reassuring to me that this one it did actually connect and go where it was supposed to. And when I picked this guy up, I was really surprised at actually how far that bullet did penetrate in. And compared to like I said on the Cape Buffalo, it was literally getting the flesh between the lung and the skin of the buffalo. That is how it was getting on Cape Buffalo recently for me. So I don't know what that is. I'd be interested if anyone else has had some weird hit registration issues. But it was really nice to pick up a diamond water buffalo for the lodge. A really, really nice diamond to add to the collection. And as you can see, I had to kind of exit that a bit quickly because I was being killed by the rest of the herd. And on the same server for Parquet, I headed over to this lake for red deer, and there was a beautiful albino hind. Now, in the entrance of my lodge, I have two very uneven red deer diamonds with the exact same rack, and one of them I've now got in a multi-mount with an albino hind on one of those platforms, and this was basically just the perfect pairing for the second half of that. So now both of them in the entrance of the lodge are completely identical. They both have the albino hind and they both have that same weird uneven diamond rack. And I think that looks pretty cool, having the exact same thing. So I was really happy to have her just to complete that. And I really do love how these guys look. They are so beautifully bright white. It's really, really pretty to actually see. So again, another really nice addition to the lodge. Now, even though I was in multiplayer to pretty much avoid whitetail for a little bit, I couldn't resist taking a shot at this one that I'm about to spot on screen now. I have never seen a level 2 whitetail with an estimate that massive, and I knew that whitetail could make diamond at level 2, but I'd never actually seen it for myself. So when I saw this guy and I saw that rack, I knew I had to take a shot at him and just see what he actually was going to score, because that rack looked very similar to the racks I have on a couple of my level 3 diamonds. So I wondered just how big this guy would be, and I decided that as soon as I got a shot, I would take it and just see what he was. Because more than anything, I was curious to see what he would score with an estimate that large. No, I managed to get a nice good hit on him while he was stood there. And actually walking up to him, he did look pretty big. And yeah, when I picked him up, he was a diamond. Quite a nice little bit over diamond as well. So that was a really nice surprise for me, actually, to actually get a level 2 diamond whitetail. So there's just something a little bit different for the lodge. And also that little pose that he is in with those ears lifted up, I thought looked really cool. And then I went back to my map because I kind of can't leave the whitetail alone. Since getting the great one, I just keep wanting to grind them again and see what else I can get out of it. And then I spotted this level 2. And like I said, it's so weird how this happens with Call of the Wild. I've not had a level 2 whitetail with an estimate that big. I've never seen any that could even potentially make diamond. And then I see one in multiplayer. I go back to my map to go and look at the whitetail again, and I see another one with that massive estimate. And as you can see, I managed to get a pretty decent shot on him, and I thought I'd try and take the smaller buck as well whilst he was trotting, and actually managed to drop him in his tracks with a double long shot. So that was really nice. And yeah, picking this guy up again, those antlers look pretty similar, and sure enough, it was another level 2 diamond, pretty much the same size, pretty similar size to the other one. So again, like Call of the Wild, you don't see something and then you get two in a very short amount of time. So that's pretty much the first whitetail of the new grind, I would guess. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who has supported the Great One video over the past couple of days. I've been really appreciating it. I'm really loving it, and it's been awesome. Thank you so much, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and see you again soon.